take the same blindfolded person in a well balanced Vastu, like somebody who has, consulted a Vastu expert, taken care of the energy of the house, and we take the same person blindfolded to the exact opposite house. Do you think a blindfolded person is going to experience two different worlds?
Kanchanam Sarvatra Sadhanam. Money is very important. But if Lakshmi wants to come to your home and your home is everywhere, there is shuffle, there is clutter, there is no neatness and all, how will she come inside? She doesn't feel like come inside. As a tenant, you are staying there, so you get an electric shock. Of course, the bills have to be paid, it has to get repaired. The owner also will get a percentage of effect of it. But you are the first person to get the effect. Northwest has to be a bedroom. It can be a hall also, living room is also okay. And southwest has to be the master bedroom so that you get proper peaceful sleep and all. Basic principles that you have to make sure is your main door. Majority of the energy and the positivity comes through the main door into the house. So your main door has to be in the center placements or third or fourth quarters. You see, for example, it's a 30-40 side. So the 30 is your main road side and you want to give the entrance and that. So you have to divide the entire 30 feet into divided by 9 and take the third and fourth part of it, which is called the Shubha. Shubha entry, a good entry into that zone. So south and southeast, we don't say even toilet should be there. There's no water tank there and there is no water storage. Even aquarium should not be kept in the south and southeast zones. The Agni Tattva zones, that is the fire element zones, are in the south and southeast. Okay, southeast when they Agni Tattva and you bring in water element there, that's an anti-element there. What happens when two anti-elements come? When there is a fire burning and you put water, it's gone. Our ancestors found out what is the distance between sun and earth, sun and moon. Everything it was written in Hanuman Chalisa. Exact measurement. One not our generation is still fine. The next generation that is coming up, they have zero patience, and I've seen them just at the age of 25, 26, 3-4 divorces. Oh my god, I was shocked. Person born in Anuradha Nakshatra, Vrishchika Rashi, for him, a south-facing site or a south entrance can give him a blockbuster hit. He makes huge wealth with the south entrance. South is to Agni Moola. They enter from the Agni Moola, they are already entering from an angry zone. How will they live peacefully there? 2011, once I went there, Guruji told me that you have a yoga to serve people and you are born for some purpose. Why are you wasting your life? I said, some random person comes into your life and suddenly says something, who will believe? I am an IIM graduate. I had a very good paying job back then. I had an international project. But still, when somebody is randomly appeared in front of you and he started telling something, I did not believe. He said, in 48 days, there is something that will change in your life. And he gave me a clue about what is going to happen. Exactly same thing happened in my life.
Hello, listeners. So, welcome to the Awakening Trail. Today, I have with me Dr. Akshata Rao, who is celebrity Vastu expert, and you all will be glad to know that this is our first time that we're going to do an episode on Vastu. So, it's going to be a very special episode for all of us. So, welcome, Dr. Akshata Rao, to the Awakening Trail.
Thank you, Priyanka ji, and namaste, everyone. I'm happy to do this.
Lovely. So I think let's get started, Dr. Akshata. Why don't you tell our listeners what is Vastu Shastra and how old is this science?
Vastu Shastra has lot of meanings given by lot of scriptures and other things. But basically, if we try to understand the base of all these things, it just comes down to one thing where the place you live. Vastu means there are two words in that, Vas and Tu. Vas matlab the place you rehte ho, जहाँ पे आप रहते हो. तो वास मतलब वो, that is the place. And Tu means tum in Hindi, simple terms. Okay. So
Right.
Vastu is the place where you live. So what is actual Vastu means the place where you live, which is good for living. That means there should be good and there should be good ventilation, there should be good sunlight, the space should make you healthy. In Sanskrit terms, we say Ayushya, Arogya, Aishwarya, everything should come to a person which makes them healthy, wealthy, and long living. So this is how the place has to be good enough for a good living. So any place you consider which is good for living can be considered as Vastu.
Okay.
And if you ask me how old is this is as old as human civilization, because there are many things which Vastu does and which is seen in earlier civilizations like Harappa and Mohenjo-daro also. Because Vastu says, everything has to be measured, done, and proper channeling has to be done, and proper structure has to be done because it ensures a proper living. So it also tells about how a foundation has to be put, how many pillars are there, how the drainage system has to be there, how the water water flow has to go. So if we observe the Mohenjo-daro and Harappan civilization, we have got evidences that there were drainage systems made there. The building constructions were of equal size, like how in Vastu we say it has to be square or rectangle and all. The similar formulas were used and they were built it. So this dates back as centuries as the human civilization.
Interesting. So, Dr. Akshata, before I enter into the next question, I have a follow-up question on what you just explained. You mentioned that, where people live, but I understand that you have helped maybe restaurants. I understand you have helped Rameshwaram Cafe in Pune. I understand that you have helped an university in Bangalore. So, there people are going for work or to study. So, how does Vastu Shastra play a role in a cafe or in an university?
Everywhere. See, I said every place we leave. I didn't mention place we leave for 10 hours, 12 hours, or 20 hours. Even a place where you leave for a few minutes. See, you go to a restaurant, you stay there for some time as a customer. But there are
Correct.
people working there. There's an owner, or there are some people who stay there for a very long time. Even their
Yeah.
life is important and their work is important. For the owners or the people who run the business, for them, the purpose of the business is to earn money. So we have to ensure that purpose is served, like how in every house when we do vastu, we ensure the purpose to be peace of life, to live peacefully and happily, healthy and all those things. But when we do this for a commercial establishment, we make sure the place runs for the business and they get good business. Good business just doesn't mean, making money. The customer feedback has to be good, the wastage has to be less, the workers have to be healthy, loyal, and they also have to work honestly. There's lot of other things which comes into a commercial point of view. So in Vastu, a commercial point of view, Vastu is slightly different from the residential. The placements are also different. So we can use those techniques and make any place as per Vastu. So our Rameshwaram Cafe have done it for all their units in Bangalore, Pune, Mumbai, and the next coming places also. So we have ensured
Lovely.
people who go there, the feel, the vibe that they get, no, it is mainly because the Vastu is done proper. So it is all about
Correct.
energies. Everything in the world is made up of energy, right? So that energy has to be felt, that vibe has to be felt. So for that also we can do Vastu.
Got it. Got it. So, Dr. Akshata, before we dive deep into this subject, right, why don't you tell us how your interest developed in Vastu Shastra?
Oh, it's a long story actually.
We have time to, we can go on and on. So, yeah, please,
Yeah.
we are keen to know how it all started.
Okay. It started in 2011. I was also working for a good company back then. I was not into Vastu, but 2011 certain things changed wherein I met a Guruji in Chamundi Hills, Mysore. I stay in Bangalore and Chamundi Hills is very close to us and we frequently visit. So 2011, once I went there, Guruji told me that, see, you have a yoga to serve people and you're born for some purpose. Why are you wasting your life? I said, some random person comes into your life and suddenly says something, who will believe? So I'm an
Correct.
IM Calcutta graduate. I had a very good paying job back then. I had international projects. I did a lot of good time then. But still, when somebody is randomly appeared in front of you and he started telling something, I did not believe. He said, in 48 days, there is something that will change in your life. And he gave me a clue about what is going to happen. Exactly same thing happened in my life. It changed my entire way of life. Every single bit of what he said happened in my life. So then I started believing this. But even before that, my father also used to do Jyotisha. He told me a lot of times to do this. But in Kannada, we say hittala gida maddala. That means
Mhm.
whatever is grown in backyard, even though it has lot of Ayurvedic or medicinal value, we don't use it, no? So even
Correct.
though my father used to say, I never believed it and I never did it. But after all these incidents, then we agreed that yes, this is the path given for me. Suddenly, I lost my job also, and then I had to go back to Chamundi Hills. The Guruji who had told me about all these things, he said, if you come back anytime here after 48 days, I'll be available and I'll guide you further what is to be done. So we went there, we waited for him, and then he appeared and he told us how to go further. He guided me to a Gurukulam in Kerala wherein I had to go there and study for about 1 year about the basic of Vastu is actually Jyotishya. So I
Okay.
started with astrology, Jyotishya, and then I came back to Bangalore. I learned more in depth about this Vastu and all. And what happens is I learned the Vedic Vastu and Vedic astrology. But after coming and started my practice here, I understood people are not okay with Ayurvedic medicine. They want allopathy. They are not ready to wait.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ayurvedic medicine, how much ever effective it is, but people are not ready to wait because they don't have patience until it works on us. So they
Yeah.
want something instant. So for this, I started researching more. What could we do? How do we do and all. Then I did my PhD in this through Indian Institute of Oriental Heritage, Calcutta. And then a lot of things changed. I could understand people, I could understand them better, and I've started serving them. So main concentration was without demolition, because these days there are structures going all vertical. Previously it was all
Yes.
horizontal. The rules were slightly
Yeah.
different, but now it is all vertical houses, apartments, and all those things. We cannot even ask them to drill a bit. Then how do we demolish and reconstruct? It's practically impossible. So then we had to do a lot of research, and we had to find different ways where without demolition also we could help people. So this I've
Lovely.
been doing for 15 years now. And from the last 5.5 years, I've been giving this remedies through a radio podcast called Vastu Prakara, on which comes on Radio City in Bangalore.
Yeah.
People are getting all these remedies free of cost, which they have implemented. They've given us a lot of feedback, and mainly I work on energies, so that you don't have to worry about what is there and what is not there. If you maintain the balance of ventilation, the energies and all, you can obviously balance everything.
Oh, lovely. So that's really good, because my next question was, or one of my questions was on this, right? Because many of us don't have the liberty to build our own houses. We live in an apartment, and as you rightly said, we have very minimal control in terms of how we can, redo the entire apartment. So glad that you touched this point. So do you mind, sharing few tips for people living in apartment, or what are the basic nitty-gritties that one should look for in their own apartment? Right now, somebody who's watching, maybe living in a 1 BHK somewhere in Maharashtra. So, what are the basic rules, thumb rules that one should look at in their, in their vastu, and if they think that this is not correct, and when should they contact you? In short.
Okay. See, it doesn't matter either you're living in a 1 BHK apartment or a villa or any palace also. The
Yeah.
Vastu basic principles remains the same. So what
Okay.
Vastu basic principle says is, your foundation has to be fine. And you have to have all the panchabhutas of the nature close to you. And also there are certain rules like which placement has to be where. Another point of view is ventilation, good sunlight and air. So this also comes in Panchabhuta. So if you're living in an apartment, since the question was about apartment, so if you're living in an apartment, make sure there is plenty of air and sunlight coming inside. So
Okay.
what people do is they always think about going for a north direction or east
Yeah.
direction facing door and all. See, in an apartment, more than the facing of the door, you have to make sure that there is lot of sunlight and air coming inside. See, what happens is when every door is facing either north or east, it all comes into the center passage in the apartment. But in the mornings, you don't get sunlight from there. In the evenings also, you may not get sunlight if there is no proper balcony on the other side. So in an apartment, first and foremost rule is, make sure you buy an apartment which gets lot of light and air.
Okay.
Second
Okay.
point, when we consider the Panchabhutas and all, what happens is the lower the floors, the much better. It is because in Panchabhutas, Bhumi Tattva or the earth element is also important. Bhumi
Hmm.
Tattva is being close to the ground. What happens in apartments is very high-rise apartments, 20 floors, 30 floors and all. You keep going up, you're going away from the Bhumi Tattva. So
Correct.
your ego concerns may come, and these days there are many family problems happening, health issues happening, stress, overload, and all. It is all because one of the reasons for this is also ego concern. People don't have patience, ego pops in, and there are a lot of concerns that is happening. So to reduce all those, also Bhumi Tattva or being grounded to earth is important. For which we say the lower floors are much better as compared to the higher floors, and also higher floors, as per Vastu, we don't suggest much, because the wind is too much high there. Your Vayu
Correct.
Tattva influences a lot. It is always blowing high wind and it is irresistible. You cannot even open your balcony window, you cannot leave it as such. So it is highly difficult to maintain also. So considering all those things, in an apartment, choose a lower floor which has still good ventilation and sunlight. Then lighting is also important. Don't make it very dark, keep it bright.
Okay.
Lower
Okay.
lighting will also impact your mood psychologically, and then as per Vastu also dark paintings in the inside the house. Like these days people painted black, dark blue, and all those things. Those are not suggested. Keep it light and keep some good plants inside the apartment. So that is basically enough. Still, if you're looking at a much bigger point of view in this, then in an apartment also we suggest the kitchen to be in the southeast corner,
Okay. Okay.
and then the bedroom to be in the southwest or the northwest. The entrance not being in any corner but inside the like any center of it. Like in the north center means north center, east center means east center. Northeast people say, and south they say east facing. They give it either in the northeast corner or southeast corner. Southeast is Agni Mula. They enter from the Agni Mula. They are already entering from an angry zone. How will they live peacefully there?
Good to know that. Yeah.
See north also. They say north facing. They either give it in northeast corner or northwest corner. Again, northwest corner is Vayu Tattva. They come blowing on the other person inside the house. How will they live happily? The other person might get
Okay.
afraid. Yeah, they can't
Yeah.
control the emotions and all. So that is why our Purvikas or our ancestors, whoever did this Vastu Shastra, no, they checked everything and made sure they gave us proper insights about it. So if we can follow a bit of Vastu, so your main door direction also matter, either it is an apartment or a small house.
Understood. So it's basically it has nothing to do with scaring people, because I have heard from a lot of friends in the community that she had south entry, and that is why things are not really going great in someone's life. So how true is this, Dr. Akshata? What is your lens in this?
If everything was to be just north and east facing, why are we having two other directions? West and south.
Correct. Yeah.
People
Yeah.
have to think practically. See, every direction is good for certain people. If we can relate astrology and Vastu based on everybody's horoscope, we can give what direction suits best. So, for example, a person born in Anuradha Nakshatra Vrishchika Rashi, for him, a south facing side or a south entrance can give him a blockbuster hit. He makes
Okay.
huge wealth with a south entrance. But a
Okay.
person born in Kumbh Rashi or some other Rashi, Simha Rashi, if they go for a south entrance, it's not favorable for them. So we have to see who went into what direction. It's as simple as taking a medicine. Suppose you know that some medicine are allergic to you and still you take it, it doesn't help you. You
Correct.
need to
Yeah.
consult a doctor, take the proper advice, and then take the medication. Similarly, in Vastu also, just choosing north entry or east entry or south entry, something randomly will not work. You have to choose what is good for you, and then you take it. It will obviously be better. It is not that south. And also, one observation I want you to do: just observe how is North India and South India. Okay, that
Mm-hmm.
the development, the GDP, the people, the behavior, the happiness quotient for that matter. North India and South India, if you compare also, South India is much better than North India in all these terms. And
Correct.
similarly, since I'm from Bangalore, I know the geography of Bangalore, so I'll tell you. In Bangalore also, as compared to North Bangalore, South Bangalore is much richer.
Yeah. Yeah.
All the film star stays in South Bangalore. So, and also when we compare other countries, also South America, North America, and all, there is lot of development in the southern places happening. And temples, if we come to also, the temples in South India has huge treasures. Those are the richest temples in the entire world. So
Yeah.
how
Take
can we say
Tirupati
South?
Balaji.
Absolutely, Tirupati Balaji, the Trivandrum Ananta Padmanabha temple and
Yes.
all.
Yeah.
This huge money, huge richness is there in the south. So just because it is south, you should not get afraid. Just make sure it is made as per Vastu. That's it.
Correct. Correct. So this is quite interesting. I mean, this is just not one this is one dimension or one parameter to look at. It is multifold. There are multiple parameters to look at, like as you rightly said. We need to look at the people who are going to live in the house, their charts, and then you match what is best for that person or people living in that house, and then you take a call, right? So this is
Absolutely.
interesting. This is quite interesting, and yes, a lot of people from North India are not going to be very happy with what we just said, but this is fact. It is factual, and I think we need to
See,
accept
when
the
we
facts with
consider
open heart.
Yes, when we consider living conditions, the living
Yeah,
conditions in North is also developing. See, it could also because of the Mughal invasion. There was lot of
yeah,
invasions. The culture was evaded and all. Still, there are lot of temples there. Kashi Vishwanatha temple is there. Ayodhya is now built. So there is lot of culture still there. There is lot of prosperity happening. But I'm just considering for a factual check. That's it. No offense to
absolutely,
North Indians, please.
absolutely is. We understand where you're coming from, Dr. Akshata.
Yeah.
So I think this is a great start. We started with getting to know you. We got to know what is Vastu Shastra. We also have, dwell little bit into how one, takes decision in terms of when to consult a Vastu expert and not be afraid just on the basis of that, uh, or one particular direction, maybe south, east, north. We have to look at it holistically. So my next question to you, is about nowadays. You also briefly spoke about it. We are seeing that lot of nuclear families exist nowadays, right? So one family, if we consider, might end up staying in four different houses, right? The first generation is living in one apartment. The brothers, two brothers, their two sons or daughters, they are living in three different apartments, and so on and so forth. So, the way you did a comparison of North India and South India, does Vastu have any explanation about why this is a trend nowadays, right? Because earlier people used to live in joint families. We used to see that, in one family, 14, 15 people used to live together. So why do you think, is there any explanation from a Vastu perspective on this, Dr. Akshata?
Yes, it is there. Bhumi Tattva is a very important part of Panchabhutas, which is aligned with Vastu principles. The more you stay away from Bhumi Tattva, that is the earth element, your ego imbibes a lot. So when your ego is more, it's like I, me, I want this, I want to do that, I want everything. When I pops in, then we is gone. Joint
Hmm,
family
hmm.
is a system where we is important, correct? So
True,
we have
true.
to be together, we have to share, we have to care for each other, and that when we concept is gone and it is only about I concept, then everything is, there's no concept of joint family there. So you said 14, 15 people. I have seen my grandma's place where we used to be 30, 32 people together.
Wow.
So
Okay.
even my grandfather, like my father-in-law and all, keeps telling me that their places and all, it used to be more than 40 people there. So it is not a very old thing, but it has become very rare. Even now, actually, for this, I have to give a credit to the North Indian people like Marwadis and all. Even now, they stay in joint families. There are still
Yes.
lot of people who stay together. That is
Yes.
because they always, their shops are mainly in the ground floor. If you see, they
Correct.
usually
Yes.
do business. Their shops are mainly in the basement or in the ground floor. They don't choose the upper floors. They are
Absolutely. Yes.
grounded.
Yes.
They stay in the upper houses, but they always make sure they come and sit in the shops for some time and go. Even the ladies in the house come and sit in the shops and go. They are always on the ground.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just to add to what you said, I have also seen have few friends in in Marwadis, and I've seen that they first ensure that their business is set, and then they go for the vastu. And many a times they even start living in the shop itself, and before they end up getting into a vastu where they go and live. So I think it's a very good observation, and this is quite interesting. So
Yes.
Bhutattva plays an important role in keeping our ego low, right? So this is also
Correct.
one simple remedy. Maybe, if we think that we have identified the ego is playing a main role in our character or,
Yes.
in ourselves, I think we should go and be with Bhutattva a lot. Now, what will be a simple solution for people who are already living in high rises, right? Maybe a 10th floor or 14th floor. What do they do?
Just come to the ground, go in the garden, roam around for some time. See, what they do is, again, they go to the top floor, they go to the terrace, to the gym. They go to
Yeah,
the
yeah.
terrace to do certain things. Instead of that, come down. Come to the ground floor.
Okay.
There is still a garden. There is still a sports arena, or there's lot of parks around, public parks
Yeah.
around. So just go around, take a walk, take a barefoot walk in the park where there is lot of grass. You touch it, you feel it. The vibes are completely different. Even science has agreed that your negativity in the body or the stress it is there, no, that can all be lost when you walk on the grass barefoot. People
Yeah.
don't do
Yeah.
this these days. So it is very much important that, see, there are a lot of people who come to me for consultation mainly for family issues. They say husband and wife are not gelling together. There's a lot of what do you say, lot of problems between them. There's no understanding, communication problem, and all those things. So all these can be resolved when ego goes low. They don't understand that this is coming because ego issues are concerned, like I want to do this, I am also earning. See, now since all females are also going out and earning, there is a requirement from the other gender also to understand and grow up. But our previous generation was not like that. There, very few female used to work and male was working a lot. So the upbringing might be slightly different. Here, the understanding of both male and female is required to continue the marriage. Our generation is still fine. The next generation that is coming up, they have zero patience, and I've seen them like just at the age of 25, 26, 3, 4 divorces. Oh my god, I was shocked.
My God.
And yeah, the main concern is lot of ego concerns and all those things. So for every such problem, one main thing is go walk around and touch the ground as much as possible.
Wow, it's a very simple remedy, and I think everybody can do it. Here, you're not, and there is no zero investment. All you're doing is investing in
Absolutely.
yourself.
Yes.
So
You need
yes,
the
this
intent to go. You need the willpower. That's your investment.
absolutely yes, yeah. So, Dr. Akshata, can you tell us a little bit more in terms of how Vastu can be explained? Using modern science. Like I remember in the beginning, you mentioned that you learned Vedic astrology and Vedic Vastu, but because a lot of us have lost patience, we've become more impulsive. You thought of, learning the alternate way of doing it. So, can you help us understand more technically about it? How does that work?
Okay, I'll first tell you the difference what is between Vedic Vastu and the present day Vastu things happening. Vedic Vastu is something which lays down the principles wherein it says prevention is better than cure. They give you all the measurements, they give you everything, how the shape has to be, it has to be built, everything. They say while building itself, you build it properly so that
Hmm.
there is no confusion later, no correction later, nothing. But nowadays, it's not happening like that. Due to modern architecture concerns, they want the look, they want something else, and there is always concrete jungle happening. The high rise apartments and all, lighting is an issue, getting the ventilation is an issue. So they're constructing the houses in a very random way. So we have to consider it in a different perspective. Here, corrections are required, which are not suggested basically in Vedic Vastu. So, but still they have given some remedies how to overcome those. So those remedies for the modern place, we have modified little how it is required and how we can do it without demolition, and we implement. And your point was how modern science is included, the Vastu and modern science. So there is nothing called modern science. Science is there from age old. Our
Correct.
ancestors found out what is the distance between sun and earth, sun and moon, everything. It was written in Hanuman Chalisa.
Yes,
Exact
absolutely.
measurement, 108 times. That is, even modern science has just proved it. That's it. We don't need
Correct.
a Western validation for our science. So there is nothing called modern science. Our science, what it says is, see, Vastu principles are based on, as I already told you, ventilation, sunlight exposure, this thermal comfort, what we say. We
Hmm.
say southwest, the bedroom has to be there. That is because the energies which rises when sun rises in the north and east, the movement of the energies and those radiations or the heat thermal waves which comes and settles in the southwest part of the house. So southwest, when you come back after your hard work from morning till evening, when you come back and try to sleep, you get a comforting sleep here. So that is called thermal comfort. Okay, then we call this magnetic orientation. We always say, no, as per Vastu, your head should not go towards the north. You should
Yeah.
not sleep while facing north and all. So that is magnetic orientation. Even geopathic way also, they say when you put your head towards north and sleep, the blood flow is different. Say half an hour, 1 day, 2 day, nothing changes. But when you constantly do something in a particular direction, then there is an effect. Okay, this is
Mm,
already then we call something called a circadian rhythm as per
correct.
modern science. What do you say? The
Yeah.
circadian rhythm, in simple terms, it is how our internal clock works. Our
Mm,
internal clock that runs 24 bar 7 works on the light system, the sunlight basically. So when sunlight comes, it tells our mind, get up, it's time to wake up and do your morning activities, everything. When sun goes down, when there is dark, it all obviously brings a intention to our mind to sleep,
sleep. Yeah.
to take rest and get benefits for the next day. So when we keep our house in the anti element wise, wherein in the daylight also, or when sunlight is required, we keep it dark, and when the night comes, we are on the TV, there is lot of screen time, big things happening, our mind gets disturbed, our circadian rhythm gets disturbed. So Vastu says sunlight is important in north and east, southwest you keep it close, so that when there is dark outside, there is dark inside, you sleep well. When there is a light outside, that is north and east part, your sunrise happens and you go out, you pray. Tulsi is kept in the north and east part, so that you go and
Correct.
pray in the morning, you get vitamin D. Vitamin D is most important for us. So Vastu
Yeah.
aligns with medicine, Ayurveda, your body comfort. If I have to say, there are a lot of things like spatial psychology, cognitive comfort, and all those things. Everything is included in Vastu.
This is good. I mean, vitamin D, it's a lot of people today are on supplements. So I think it is very crucial what you just said. And, 90%, at least in the neighboring area of mine, I know people are on vitamin D supplements. So thank you so much for bringing this up. It was very easy. Our ancestors were very intelligent than us. I must say that, all you did was you pour water to the tulsi plant. You came back home with, vitamin D in you. So, this is important and this is quite interesting. Dr. Akshata, now you explained about the north direction, right? And while you were explaining, I remembered my grandmother. And I must tell all my listeners, I keep remembering her because, through small stories, through small anecdotes, she kept imbibing knowledge into me or intelligence into me, right? But the way she told me about this particular thing back then when I was kid, don't put your legs towards south direction. You otherwise Lord Yama is going to take you away from me. So, so for a small kid, I got scared. So there are a lot of such myths, right, about toilets not being in but north direction, if I'm not mistaken. Correct me if I'm wrong. So can you bust some of the myths today? Maybe two or three or four or five, whatever comes to your mind right now.
See, I don't call it a myth, first of all,
Okay,
because
okay.
everything that our ancestors said, most of it actually, had a
Yeah,
proper reasoning behind it. They just added a factor of fear into it so that people listen and follow. Just if you say, don't sleep towards north, don't put your legs towards south, or don't do this in the east, don't do this in the west, who will follow? They will think,
no
okay,
one.
it's backwards. Yeah,
Yeah,
so they
true.
don't just grab that. But when you put an factor of fear into it, अरे ये नहीं करोगे तो वो हो जाएगा. Something
Yeah,
will happen, Like how you said, gave the example of south direction, Yama will come. Yama will not come. As per
yeah,
Vastu Purusha Mandala, Yama's place in the south. She was perfect in telling that. But she said he'll come and pick you up, but that will not happen. But what
yeah.
happens if you do that is, as per the geomagnetic force and the magnetic theory that we call, the magnetic alignment of the earth and our position in India, basically, especially in the Deccan Plateau, the northern pull is more.
Correct.
Always it is not universal. Where you are, how far you are from the equator, what is happening with what is your longitude, latitude, everything has to be considered. So for us it is all the same. So what happens for us is the northern pull is more. So when we sleep with our head towards north and legs towards our south, our
Yeah.
blood flow is slightly altered, which doesn't happen in 1 or 2 days, but continuously when you sleep in this particular direction, you will start getting the magnetic pull towards your head, which can, harm your what do you say, nerves and other things, blood vessels in the brain, which scientists have over a period of time have researched and told that over a period, like after a very long period of time, this can cause something like Alzheimer's and other issues in the brain related
Okay.
memory loss, all those things can happen. So if somebody comes and says north ke like in north you should not put your head and sleep, you will forget everything, the next day the person will get up and say nothing happened to me. Over a
Yeah.
period of time, what happens, nobody will wait for it. Like that there are a lot of things. And then they will say in the, for example, as you said, toilet should not be in the north, but actually toilet they were not making it anywhere in the inside the home at all.
Yes. Yes.
Was always
True.
outside, because they knew there is, negativity into that. Negativity doesn't mean a physical negativity. What it means is there is an excretion process happening which contains bacteria, which contains a foul smell that can impact the positive environment inside us. How do you feel when there is an odd smell coming from the bathroom where you're
Yeah.
sitting and enjoying, when you're doing a prayer or when you're eating? How does it feel?
Correct.
It feels very odd. So they
Yeah.
didn't want these things to happen. They kept everything separate. So they told if bathroom comes inside the house, your house becomes a daridra. Something like
Yeah.
that they used to say. So we have to always find the reason behind it.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Then there is also one more thing, Dr. Akshata, which is quite like, even if more searched, I would say, in Google, is that, you should not have water element in the south, right?
Yes.
Ha- So
Not
why is
exactly
that?
south, south and southeast both. So when
Okay.
we divide the house also, we divide it into different tattvas, Agni Tattva, Vayu Tattva, Jala Tattva and all. So Agni Tattva zones, that is the fire element zones, are in the south and southeast. Okay,
Right.
southeast when we say Agni Tattva and you bring in water element there, that's an anti-element there. Okay. What happens
Okay.
when two anti-elements come? When there is a fire burning and you put water, it's gone.
Hmm.
In olden days, it used to be a wood fire kitchen and there used to be a lot of cooking. It used to be a joint families where they had to cook for 20, 25 people together. It was in mass. So when you have a water element right next to it, that kills the fire. Or if something by chance, if the water spilled also, their entire effort would go in vain. It's not as easy as these days, just light a gas lighter, everything
Hmm.
is on. It doesn't work like that day. It used to be completely different. It was hard work for them, and storing of water was also different for them. Storing water, see, the storage used to be, the wells used to be in north and east corner. South used to be in a different direction. So all the way they had to bring water and save it here. For kitchen, for the purpose of cooking, they used to save some. But not everything was saved there because of practical purposes also. Safety concerns was included. So,
Yeah.
and per elemental theory also, fire zone and water zone, we don't mix. So, there's no water element required in the south zone. So, south and southeast, we don't say even toilet should be there. There's no water tank there and there is no water storage. Even aquarium should not be kept in the south and southeast zones.
Okay. Okay. Interesting, because a lot of fish lovers, who want to keep fish tanks at home, I'm sure this will be a good tip.
Yes, and one
So
more point I'd like to add. Southeast, what they do is typically they do the kitchen in the southeast, but what they do is these days in apartments and many other places, they give a utility also in the southeast. What happens when
yes.
there's a utility in the southeast? The southeast corner, there's a sink in the utility, or there's a place where the water goes out. So
Yeah.
the water drain is also in the southeast. So you're bringing again a water element in the southeast. Inside the house, there's a fire element, and out just in the other side of the wall, there's a water element. Again, you're bringing two different elements in the same zone. So which are actually the opposites. So it doesn't work like that. make sure if your utility is in the opposite side, that is in the southeast side, then you have to make sure that your sink or the water drain is not in the complete southeast corner. This applies to not just home, even the commercial establishment. For commercials, we say southeast zone is the cash flow zone. So if your cash
Mm.
flow has to be good, make sure there's no water element in the southeast.
Thank you so much for this simple but quick tip here.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there is, in what I understood so far, is there is no one medicine for all in Vastu Shastra. So
Yes.
it is going to be, different medicines for different people, different mindset, people who are living there, and also on the different elements, those are disturbed in your house. So of course it is going to be different. But thank you so much for sharing this quick tip. All right. So we spoke a lot about apartments, right? Why don't we now slowly, talk about people who are building their own houses? Are there any small tips for them? What they should look at, what they should avoid?
Yes, always prevention is better than cure. If you're building
Yeah,
a house, make sure you build it as per Vastu so that later on the todna fodna, nothing. Okay,
yeah,
no
yeah.
demolition later, then no corrections later. And prevention, always make sure it is 100% Vastu. So, basic principles that you have to make sure is your main door. Majority of the energy and the positivity comes through the main door into the house. So your main door has to be in the center placements or third or fourth quarters, we see. So when it's an entire direction, for example, it's a 30-40 site, so the 30 is your main road side and you want to give the entrance in that, so you have to divide the entire 30 feet into divided by 9 and take the third and fourth part of it, which is called the Shubha
Okay.
entry, the good entry into that zone. So it doesn't matter either it is north, east, south, or west, whichever it is. You have to take the third and fourth part of it so that it is good. So if you come to us, we'll give the proper direction based on your horoscope and all. But if you're doing it by yourself, do this thing. Then
Yeah.
do not keep it in the corner. Like many people think that northeast direction is a good direction. So randomly they just go keep the main door in the northeast direction. It is not at all suggestible as per Vastu. If you see any of your ancestral places, temples, anything 30, 40 years before, nothing was in the corner. No entry was
Mm.
in the corner. Why do you want to keep it in the corners these days? Just because of your practical use or just to make it look good? But as per Vastu, northeast corner is the head of Vastu Purusha. When Vastu Purusha lies down in the Vastu Purusha mandala, his head is in the northeast corner. How do you feel if you're, opening your head and going inside? You don't have peace of mind. There's no clarity, always there is something happening there. There's somebody hustling all over. So it doesn't work that. So you cannot open Vastu Purusha's mind and they tell, I don't have peace of mind at the home. Doesn't work that.
Mm.
So you have to close this portion, and whatever the third and fourth part I told, it comes here where there's a blank space. You give the
Yeah.
end here, then you go inside the body directly. Or the entry can be given in the mouth part. If you take the front part, so this comes in the third and fourth part here. So the mouth is there, the nose is there, where we take inhale breath and we intake all the food. So like that
Mm.
also for the Vastu Purusha, we have to feed in the same way. So the entry has to be in the same place. So any direction you're constructing, make sure it's in the third and fourth part out of the 9 parts that you do in that direction. Then the
Okay.
kitchen. Make sure kitchen is in the southeast only, and
Mm-hmm.
there is no utility just right behind it, or even if you are giving utility also, no water element or the sink in the complete southeast corner. Northwest has to be a bedroom. It can be a hall also, living room is also okay. And southwest has to be the master bedroom so that you get proper peaceful sleep and all. Southwest, there should also be one safe or a cupboard where you can keep your tijori and all, the good safe or whatever it is, so that your money can be saved there. Whatever money is saved in southwest corner can be saved for generation. That is believed like that. And it's the Pitrusthana also. Southwest is
Okay.
considered Pitrusthana. So there, if you keep it, they safeguard you or they give their blessings also. It is considered
Mhm.
like that. So, and center of the house, what we call as Brahmasthana. Okay,
Yeah.
Brahmasthana is where the energy actually shifts. So Brahmasthana has to be kept light and it has to be kept open. Do not put any heavy furnitures. Do not put a pillar in the exact center also. And the northeast corner also, make it light and clear. Make sure there's lot of windows and there should be cross ventilation in proper. Like if you have a door straight opposite, there should be another door. Like if you have a door in north, south, you keep one more door. There is a door in east, keep one more door in the west. Or if there is a window in the east, keep one more window in the exact west. Straight opposite. So cross ventilation is also taken care.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
modern architects, lot of architects will agree with me on this.
You okay? I'm sure. I'm sure. So, I think all I am understanding is right from the beginning of our conversation is it is important. See, because anytime when you go to an airy, a well lit room, you feel positive. You know,
Absolutely.
forget about the rest of the elements, rest of the parameters of that particular vastu. But if there is a good amount of light coming in, good amount of air flowing in, you feel peaceful. So, and of course then there are guides like you, experts like you, to help, you know. So at least if we are able to figure this basic rules out, right, what Dr. Akshata just shared, if you are building a house, just take care of these basic tips. And if you want to have a deeper conversation, then you always can consult an expert. Now,
Priyanka ji,
uh,
can I just
Hani,
add one more tip?
yeah, yeah, sure, go ahead, go ahead.
See, what happens is, see, while constructing a house, people think that just this is enough. They also need to make sure that the house is well lit, as you said, the purpose of the house matters. Why do you have a house? So that you come back home after your struggle to live peacefully. Peace of mind is required, happiness is required, and health is required. All these three can be met with proper ventilation and air, the vibe of that place. You're angry, you go somewhere, you do a lot of hustle. The moment you come back, if your anger can be reduced, there will not be any family problems at home. If your anger is completely reduced the moment you step in, if the vibe is good, your patience is increasing, your stress level is gone, your health becomes good, you won't get diabetes and BP. Lot of things are taken care,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
So this has lot of other connections also which people have to consider and do it.
Yeah, and you rightly said in the beginning, right? It is health, wealth, and long life. So,
Yes.
yeah, so and prosperity and so on so forth. So wonderful. All right. So I think you have studied a lot, and you're a doctorate yourself, right? In your research, have you come across any funny or any scary, studies or anything that you studied, which was really funny to know or was really scary?
Yeah, see, there are incidents when we go to consultation or when we did research. People ask, like, if I'm on a rented house, will the Vastu affect me or the owner? That
Yeah,
was very funny for me.
yeah.
Because, see, I'll give a small example for this. Imagine there's a short circuit in the house. Will
Mhm.
you get this electricity shock or will the owner get it?
Of course,
As a
the person
tenant,
who is living.
yes, as a tenant, you are staying there, so you get the electric shock. Of course, the bills have to be paid, it has to get repaired. The owner also will get a percentage of effect of it. But you are the first person to get the effect. So the
Yeah.
person who is staying in that place will get the effect of the Vastu. So many people always have this effect. I'm just living on a rented house. What will happen? Vastu will not impact me. Baba, everything happens to you because you are staying
Mm,
in that place. See, as I mentioned, as we discussed earlier, restaurant, if you go for a little while, the vibe matters. Then in the
yeah.
house, you're staying for a long time, even in the rented house, or you're staying in a PG, you're staying in a hostel, wherever it is, that room matters. How you keep it
Hmm.
matters. So you have to keep it little well.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Fair enough.
Yeah. One more thing, what I see is people always ask, see, they fear a lot. Okay, they have lot of fears about different things. So they consider Pitrus and gods, everybody is same. They're like, everybody is same, no? So we all put them together. So gods
Hmm.
and Pitrus, are that is our ancestors' photo. Everything they usually put it together. But as per Vastu Shastra, we consider it as separate things. Pitrus are our ancestors who were born as human beings, but still we want their blessings because we have their genes and we have to continue the tradition, culture, and everything they have given it to us. We need their blessings, but they're not God. God is something very super powerful, superhuman, which we cannot match that with. So the powers of God and Pitrus have to be kept separate in a home, and you have to always make sure that the Pitrus photos or ancestral things, whatever you put it in the house, that has to be on the south, and God things or the God photos, it has to be on the east or the northern part when you
Okay. Okay.
everything and you put your photo also. People have this showcases and lot of places made where they display all photos. They put one dead person photo, one living person photo, one god photo, one guruji's photo, everything they mix up, and practically it doesn't gel well also. See, imagine you are sitting in a living room, you see all the photos together, the emotions are completely different that you carry with each person. With a person who is not alive, the emotion that you carry is a different feeling. With a person whom you love a lot, whose photo is right next to it, you will not be able to feel that happiness just because you're also seeing the person who is not alive. The emotions
Yeah.
get so practically also this has a problem.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
and funny things, or I can't say funny, it is all people's emotion, but it looks really funny for us because try to do a temple, the gopuram, everything inside the house, which is not considered. A temple is different, a house is different, the rituals are different. They'll do lot of things, chapel stand and all. Now the architects, they give lot of variety of options for different things, so they do lot of different things. I always say one thing as per Vastu, please consider the practical use, but still consider how positive or negative it can impact practically.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
So consider this and do. So nothing is actually funny, but it is all their own emotions. It is all about how we take and how we explain it to them. That's it.
Right. Right. You spoke about this part right now about the chappal. The I am asking this question because I'm seeing nowadays, we tend to keep the chappal stand right outside our main entrance. And I've read somewhere that, it's not auspicious or it's not great as per Vastu. So what is your take on this? Is it okay? See, because the houses are so small and nowadays, like earlier it was like one person, one chappal. But now it is, the
It's not enough.
calculation is, is different now, right? Especially for ladies. So, how does one take care of that, right? And there is no space inside the house.
I understand. Not just ladies, the men also. They want a different footwear for every different dress now. Matchings are, that's okay. See, the world is evolving, the needs are evolving, they need different things. But considering this as a chapel, what element do we consider it as? A positive element or a negative element? It depends on that. See, footwear is something which we use it to roam around the entire world we come back with. It could
Yeah,
contain bacteria, germs, some different yucky things, or I don't know how to say, but lot of things which are not to be entered into the house. It has
absolutely.
everything on the street. You can't have that inside the house. So that is why even our ancestors used to have the chapel stand outside. But just think of it, you're going to somebody's house and they're welcoming with you lot of chapels. How does it
Mm,
you
yeah.
have to be welcomed with proper gesture. You say namaste, namaste, but you see lot of chapels around. What is
Mm,
this? You have a smile on
mm.
your face, but your eyes are always looking around the chapels there. No, that the vibe is changing there. So that is why always keep your chapels organized. And suppose if your entrance is in the north, don't make your chapel stand in the northeast side. Northeast side is
Okay,
Devamula. Okay, it is a
okay,
worshipping place. So you can have it towards northwest. So similarly, if you are having entrance towards east also, do not keep it towards northeast. Keep it towards southeast. Okay, a little far from the main door, you can keep it. And always keep it covered so that it is not displayed.
okay, okay,
And inside the house also, there are many zones where you can keep your shoes. For example, west of northwest. Between west and northwest, there is a zone which is not a very good zone. Similarly, between south and southwest, there is a zone which can be used for keeping chapel stand also. So in these
okay,
zones, you can keep the chapels which you don't use it regularly. The other ones which you use it for regular daily use can be kept outside in a covered state so that it doesn't look odd. As per Shastra, there is one more thing. They say Lakshmi comes to a home which is well lit and well kept neat. If you're expecting Lakshmi to come to your house, these days, finance is very important, right? Kanchanam sarvatra sadhanam. Money is very important. But if Lakshmi wants to come to your home and your home is, everywhere there is shuffle, there is clutter, there is, no neatness and all, how will she come inside? She doesn't feel like
Yeah,
come. Even the guest or yourself doesn't feel like coming inside. How will Lakshmi come inside?
true,
Right?
true.
So you
Yeah.
have to make sure it is covered, kept neat, and not scattered around right in the entrance.
Perfect. I think it's very much doable, very much possible to keep it clean, to keep it tidy, and I think I'll also uh, it also impacts you emotionally. I think it also has to do with how you make that impact because I see some places, I visit some houses, they're very neat and tidy. Some places it's all cluttered, and the moment you see clutter around, I don't know, something, bothers you inside. At least it does for me. So
Yeah,
I
there's a
yeah,
saying which says a cluttered house is a cluttered mind. If you want
yeah.
everything in your life to be good and organized, first keep your house organized and clean. Keep it clutter free. So this is
Mhm.
also very important as per Vastu. If the energies in the house has to be good, you have to keep it clutter free.
Yes. I think all of us, let's take that extra effort to keep our houses and mind clutter free. So it is, the moment your house is clutter free, your mind is also going to have a similar impact. That's
Yes.
great. All right. So this is going to be a little, how do I put it? An exam, a small test for you, Dr. Akshata.
Okay.
Let's say that, we blindfold a person. All right.
Okay.
And we take the same blindfolded person in a well balanced vastu, like somebody who has, consulted a vastu
Mhm.
expert and taken care of the energy of the house. And we take the same person blindfolded to the exact opposite house. Do
Okay.
you think that blindfolded person is going to experience two different worlds?
I would probably say possibly yes. May not be a major difference until you know how to feel yourself. See, this is a very chaotic world these days. People don't have patience, don't have, and they have too many things running in their mind with their mind not at all calm and still.
Mm-hmm.
If that blindfolded person is having a mind which is calmer and still, yes, he can make out the difference in the place which is vastu compliant and which is not vastu compliant, because the energies matter. Everything in this world is made up of energy, and you can feel the energy. The vibes that we talk about can be easily felt either you're blindfolded or not. That is why even we, when we go to a consultation, we step into a place, we close our eyes and we try to feel the energy first.
Okay,
Okay, that is
okay,
what we do.
interesting.
So, and see, subconsciously, what affects us when a person cannot see something, there are different things that in the environment which affects him. For example, the airflow, the temperature in that place, the people are there. What the Suppose there are a lot of people around, they are thinking with lot of tension in their mind. It gets transferred. There is an energy transfer happening all the time. You are having lot of people around you who are sad. You cannot be happy in between them.
Yeah, yeah,
Feel
true.
like happy like that. If there is an happy environment, if you bring a blindfolded person, then he'll obviously feel like being happy, he'll feel good there. The openness, the lighting, even with your blindfold, when there is lot of light coming in, you can still feel it. When it's a dark
Yeah,
place, feel that also. So the blindfolded person can find that, the sound reflection, the vibes, that energy. I'll just give a small test for this, a written test. Okay, just tell me, there are some places, the moment you step in, or you might have gone to buy one thing, but you feel like, buying two to three things and you come back home. And then there
yeah,
are places where, your relatives or friends place, or, a well-known person place, okay, who's very good with you. You go to their place and somehow you don't feel good. You feel like running away from that place. Why?
yeah, it does happen. Yes, I think the energy
Happen.
or the vibe.
Yes. So you don't really have to see it. You don't know the Vastu, but still it affects. That is why you feel like, where there is a place which is imbalanced, or where the energies are not constant or good, where the Vastu is not compliant enough, you feel like running away from that place.
Yeah, yeah.
Your
And I
eyes start
remember,
burning, you feel
sorry.
headache, yeah, your eyes start burning, you feel headache, and you feel some kind of nausea or some unwanted tension starts popping. You just feel like you want to get up and go away from that place as soon as possible. But there are some similar places which are vastu compliant. You don't have to go check which direction, what is there, nothing. When you go there, the way the person talks to you, the way they greet, and the place, the arrangement, everything, that makes you feel like buy more, or stay there for a more time. Some unknown random person friend we would have visited, they offer you lunch, you sit and easily have and come, because the vibe of that place and the warmth of that person also matters. So even a blindfolded person, for your question and for this example, yes, it works. They can possibly identify the difference.
Yes, true to that. And I think to add to what you said, I again remember my grandmother. I remember not just mine, all our grandmother or all of us, we tend to say that Vastu तथास्तु हमेशा तथास्तु कहता है, no? Vastu is always blessing, and which is why it is said, speak good in the house. Have, speak in lower tone, keep positive vibes, because you never know when Vastu is going to come and bless you. You don't want
It is
that.
not Vastu exactly, it is Ashwini Devatas
Okay.
who are always telling Tatastu. Okay, they
All right.
are the ones
Interesting.
who bless us for our wishes. So Vastu Purusha is basically a demon who was put into the earth and turned into something who can guard our lives. So Vastu is not doing Tatastu. Vastu is
Okay.
something to help us out for a peaceful living. But Ashwini Devatas is the one who does Tatastu.
Okay. Interesting. I didn't know part. Can you tell us the story, because I'm hearing this for the first time.
Yes, see, there are a lot of devatas in different places. Okay, so every devata is assigned with a different work. For example, Varuna Devata, Surya Devata, everybody they have their own part of work. For example, Surya Devata gives us sun, light, and all. Varuna Devata gives us wind,
Yeah.
the rain and all. So similarly, now for Ashwini Devatas, there's a work. They have to consider the wishes of the people and they have to always bless them. So on a neem tree or on a Ashwata tree, Alada Marad, we call in Kannada, the banyan tree, the people tree, where there is Naga Pratishtapna done, we go do the puja and all. People tree. So these are the places where maximum Ashwini Devatas are there. And we also think that Ashwini Devatas have horses on which they keep roaming around the entire world. Okay, so we don't
Okay.
know when they're hearing you, and maximum all the Shastras say that Ashwini Devtas can hear you from everywhere. It does,
Okay.
irrespective of where you are, which country you are, where you're sitting, what you're doing, which house you are. So they always say positive, so that when they say tatastu, it happens. And when you say bad thing and they say tatastu, negative happens. So you
Yeah.
should never intentionally or unintentionally wish bad for any person,
Correct.
right?
Correct.
Even
True.
though he's your enemy, you should not wish a bad thing for them. So that is why even when Ashwini Devatas are wishing Tatastu for everything, we have to say all good. This thing itself is the modern manifestation methods. They always tell,
Yeah.
say something as if, that has already happened. When you say
Yeah.
something as if, I have already got 100 crores this year, and Ashwini Devata says Tatastu, I got 100 crores.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Cool.
somebody says, I have already got married. And Ashwin Devta says, Tatastu, you get married because Devtas cannot take back the wish that already granted you.
Correct. Correct. So
Correct.
I
This is
think,
but yeah, this is the real story.
yeah, it is very interesting the way, our ancestors have put fear also, have, behind explaining us the logics that exist for Vastu. And we must thank all our ancestors for doing us that favor. And with people like you who is passing on this knowledge, from generations, from one generation to another generation, and from people to people. And you said in the beginning that this is the service that you're doing to the human race and mankind. So thank you so much for that, Dr. Akshata. So I think I want to just ask you one last question, before we part ways today, or before we say bye to you. Do you have any tip for all our listeners? Maybe you can just tell us a quick message for all of us who is listening to you for the first time.
I don't know what to say as a message because I'm not a messenger, but I'm a Vastu consultant who can definitely give you Vastu tips. So, some Vastu tips which everyday life can be impacted. One thing is keep your house clean. mandatory. Then make
Yeah.
sure you open your windows and doors at least for some time in the day, so that there is natural lighting come inside. Then there, if you talk about tips, southeast zone, if somebody in the house has PCOS problem or health issues, in especially women related issues, if your menstrual cycle is create giving you a lot of cramps or stomach aches and all those things, just light a lamp in the southeast zone. That's the Agni Moola.
Okay.
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 So by doing this, you're activating the Agni Tattva in the house, which can help the stomach of the lady in that house and can solve related issues. Similarly, if there is an issue between the husband and wife, or mother-in-law and daughter-in-law, there is lot of always saas bahu ka to chalta rehta hai. There is lot of
Yeah.
issues that is happening in many houses these days. For this kind of a issue, I want you to put a family photo of them in the southwest corner in the west wall. Any
Okay.
house, southwest corner, and on the west wall a family photo and even a couple photo can be put. This ensure there is a bonding, because this we also call it as a relationship zone.
Okay.
So
Okay.
by putting a family photo there, we enhance the relationship between them. Suppose if you think there is no harmony between them, they're good relationship wise, but there is no harmony, there's a communication problem between husband and wife, or between the in-laws and the bahu and all, then you can put their photos in the northwest corner, again on the west wall.
Okay.
That is also a harmony and a bonding zone where your things will help you out sort between people, and there is no majority of the problem these days are also because of the communication issues. They don't want to communicate properly or other things. So these issues can also be resolved just by putting photos in these directions. And Vastu, we consider salt as a very good remedy for many of the problems. See, as I told you earlier, toilet was never supposed to be inside the house. So,
Correct.
irrespective of any direction you have made the toilet inside your house, it's a Vastu defect.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
There
True.
is some kosha inside that. So you keep a bowl of crystal salt inside this washroom, and so that it attracts all the negativity, and you replace that salt every week. It should not get wet. Keep it in a place where it doesn't get wet. It just attracts all the negativity. Just replace the salt every week. And suppose if you think your house is having lot of negativity, people are always angry and other stuff, make sure you can even keep this salt bowls in the four corners of your house also.
Okay. Okay.
As an alternative, you can use Himalayan rock salt lamp, but crystal salt is always better.
Okay.
One last tip, make sure there is some plants in the house. Tulsi plant is always the best. If you can't have a tulsi, at least some money plant. If you're staying in a hostel or somewhere else, a PG and all, one money plant, a bamboo plant, a jade plant, which can survive inside only, no need of sunlight and all. Please have one or two plants wherever place you are living. Have some plants. That's like another life growing with you, which helps you grow very well. It can absorb your negativity, and it can give you a lot of positivity as well.
Thank you so much. I think we got not just one message, but many messages from Dr. Akshata towards the end. So these tips are very easy to implement, and I think there is no harm or there is no loss in doing them. So please go ahead and implement them in your life. So I personally also sometimes become an OCD person. Suja can very well explain that. But yeah, I like to be keeping the house really neat and tidy, and I'm seeing positive impact in my life for years now. So let's take these simple points and tips very seriously and try to implement them in our lives and make our lives better, healthy, and wealthy. So thank you so much, Dr. Akshata, for doing this conversation with us on Vastu. And I'm going to thank on behalf of all my listeners to you, because this is the first time we are speaking with an Vastu expert on the Awakening Trail. So this episode is going to be very, very special to me, and to it is going to be very close to my heart. So thank you once again.
Thank you so much, Priyanka ji, and thank you all the listeners and viewers. See, Vastu, I want you to understand that it is not just about construction, it is all about energy and balance, and it can help you live better. And I hope all the remedies that I've given you is very practical and implementable. And please do implement and share your thoughts on the comments. We'll be happy to help you more. Thank you so much. Jai Gurudev.
Thank you. Jai Guru.